The village of Mambalu had many legends, but none as captivating as Nia. Tall, with skin as dark as midnight and hair that crowned her head in a halo of thick, glorious curls, she was the pride of her people. Her beauty was the kind that left men stuttering and women glancing with envy. Yet despite her allure, Nia had turned down every marriage proposal. The most eligible bachelors from near and far had tried. Warriors, hunters, even sons of wealthy traders. Still, her answer was always the same. No. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the village in a soft amber glow, Chibueze, the village's most revered hunter, approached her by the river. He had been watching her for days, hoping to catch her alone. "Nia," he called, his voice steady but filled with longing. "Why do you refuse me?" Nia, who was kneeling by the water, her reflection distorted by ripples, didn't turn to face him. Instead, she ran her fingers through the cool water, her expression unreadable. "Chibueze, I have my reasons. Marriage is not something I seek." He stepped closer, his heart pounding. "But I am not like the others. I could give you everything. A strong home, protection, love. Why will you not even consider it?" Finally Nia turned, her dark eyes locking with his. For a brief moment, Chibueze felt like he had been seen, not just for his strength and prowess as a hunter, but for the man he was beneath it all. Some things are beyond what you see, Chibueze. There are truths that, if known, would change everything. Her voice was soft, but her words carried weight. Chibueze furrowed his brow, confused. What could be so terrible that it keeps you from happiness? I don't understand, Nia. She stood, brushing her hands on her skirt. It's better that you don't. Before he could respond, she turned and walked deeper into the forest, leaving him standing there, staring after her. The moon was high that night, casting silver beams through the canopy of trees as Nia walked silently toward the hidden grove near the river. She could feel the pull of the transformation coming, the familiar tingling in her limbs. Her secret. She knew Chibueze was persistent, and if he followed her tonight... Her breath caught in her throat at the thought. She had kept this hidden for so long, but nothing could remain secret forever. Her body trembled and the change began. Her skin rippled, her muscles twisted, and within moments, her human form was replaced by the sleek, powerful body of a tiger. Golden eyes gleamed in the moonlight as she prowled silently through the undergrowth. But what Nia didn't know was that Chibueze had indeed followed her. He had seen the way she slipped into the woods, her movements unusually quick and deliberate. Curiosity had driven him to trail her, hiding among the shadows. When he saw her body morph into that of a tiger, his heart nearly stopped. He crouched low behind a bush, his mouth dry, his mind racing. The beautiful woman he had been chasing, the one everyone wanted to marry, wasn't fully human. The next day, Chibueze waited for Nia at the edge of the village. When she emerged from the forest just before dawn, she looked as she always did. Poised, mysterious, and untouchable. But now he knew. His chest tightened as he approached her. "Nia," he said, his voice barely a whisper. She stopped, sensing the shift in his tone, and turned to him. Her eyes searched his face. "Chibueze, what are you doing here so early?" "I followed you last night," he blurted out before he could stop himself. "I know what you are." Her blood ran cold. For a long moment, neither of them moved, the weight of his words hanging between them. What did you see?" Her voice was steady, but fear flickered in her eyes. "You," he replied, his voice shaking. "I saw you change. I saw you become the tiger." Nia's heart pounded in her chest. "You weren't supposed to see that." "How long?" he demanded, his eyes wide with disbelief. "How long have you been hiding this from everyone?" Her shoulders sagged, and she turned away from him, staring off into the distance. "Since I was a child, it happens every night when the moon is full. I've learned to control it, to keep it hidden. But no one can know Chibueze. No one." You're a shapeshifter," he said, his mind struggling to process the truth. "Why didn't you tell me?" Because you wouldn't have understood. Nia's voice was hard now, tinged with sadness. No one would. If the village knew, they'd fear me. They'd cast me out, or worse. Chibueze stood in stunned silence, trying to reconcile the Nia he had known, the woman of unmatched beauty, kindness, and grace, with the dangerous creature he had witnessed. But then something shifted in him. Despite the shock, despite the fear, he still wanted her. "I don't care," he said suddenly, stepping toward her. "I don't care what you are. I want to be with you, Nia. I can help you keep this secret. We can protect each other." Nia turned to face him, her eyes softening but filled with caution. "You don't understand what you're saying. This isn't something you can just accept and forget. If anyone ever finds out—" "I'll make sure they don't," Chibueze interrupted, his voice full of determination. "I swear on my life, I won't tell anyone. Just let me be by your side." Nia's eyes filled with unshed tears. For so long she had carried this burden alone, never daring to trust anyone. Now here was Chibueze, willing to take it on with her. But deep down, she knew this wasn't the end of her troubles. "You think you can handle this, but you don't know what it means," she whispered. "The curse is tied to something much older than both of us. There are things about me that even I don't understand." Chibueze took her hand, his touch warm against her cold skin. "Then let me help you understand it. We can face it together." Nia studied him for a long moment, her heart torn between the fear of her secret and the hope that someone could accept her, truly accept her, for who she was, both woman and beast. Slowly, she nodded. "Very well," she said quietly, "but remember this, once you're in, there's no turning back." Chibueze nodded, a flicker of determination in his eyes. "I'm not turning back." And so their pact was sealed under the rising sun. They both got married, but Nia knew the danger was far from over. In the village, secrets had a way of revealing themselves. And if the people ever found out what she truly was, not even Chibueze's love could save her from the storm that would come.